Your little hands wrapped around my finger, and it's so quiet in the world tonight. Your little eyelids flutter 'cause you're dreaming, so I tuck you in, turn on your favorite night light. To you, everything's funny. You got nothing to regret. I'd give all I have, honey, if you could stay like that. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, it could stay this simple. I won't let nobody hurt you, won't let no one break your heart. No one will desert you. Just try to never grow up. And never grow up. You're in the car on the way to the movies, and you're mortified your mom's dropping you off. At 14, there's just so much you can't do, and you can't wait to move out someday and call your own shots. But don't make her drop you off around the block. Remember that she's getting older too, and don't lose the way that you dance around in your PJs getting ready for school. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, it could stay this simple. And no one's ever burned you, nothing's ever left you scarred. And even though you want to, just try to never grow up. Take pictures in your mind of your childhood room. Memorize what it sounded like when your dad gets home. Remember the footsteps, remember the words said, and all your little brother's favorite songs. I just realized everything I have is someday gonna be gone. So here I am in my new apartment in a big city. They just dropped me off. It's so much colder than I thought it would be, so I tucked myself in and turned my nightlight on. Wish I'd never grown up. I wish I'd never grown up. Oh, I don't wanna grow up. Wish I'd never grown up, could still be little. Oh, I don't wanna grow up. Wish I'd never grown up, it could still be simple. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, you just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, stay this simple. I won't let nobody hurt you, won't let no one break your heart. And even though you want to, please try to never go. Oh, 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 don't you ever go. Just never grow up.
Welcome to the 2020 William M. Kelley High School Commencement. I'd like to call on Lily Lewis and Karina Merle to give the welcome from the class of 2020. Lily and Karina.
Parents, family, fellow graduates, and internet guests, On behalf of William Kelley, class of 2020, we are honored to welcome you to the 2020 William Kelley High School graduation ceremony.
This year has had a lot of ups and downs, but we made it. Although we ended our high school careers rather unconventionally, our journey as high school students has come to an end. We are all happy, sad, proud, or maybe even thrilled that our lives as high school students has come to an end and our journey as adults has only just begun.
Most of us have been together all the way since kindergarten or even preschool, and we've created friendships, overcome obstacles, and made memories, all of which have molded us into the people we are today. William Kelley holds a special place for small graduating classes, as it makes everyone feel like a family. The community has been supportive of all of our achievements, and we felt it all the way through.
While this may sound like any other graduation speech, this one has one major difference. We not only made it through high school, we ended it during a global pandemic. The resilience we have had during these unprecedented times proves our class can endure anything we encounter when we set our minds to it.
We know this scenario isn't what we ever thought our graduation would be like, but we are glad we can all see each other one last time, even if it's 6 feet apart, before the farewell.
Again, thank you to everyone who has supported us during this time. Now that the time has finally arrived to begin our next journey in life, let's begin our ceremony.
Good luck, class of 2020. We made it.
Thank you, Lily and Karina. Dr. Crandall, Superintendent of Schools, will now share some thoughts with our graduating class. Dr. Crandall.
Welcome to the celebration graduation for the William Kelley High School graduating class of 2020. Well, we certainly weren't thinking at the beginning of your senior year that the events that took place during this senior year would happen. We had a water main break, taking you out of school for a week prior to the holiday break. And now we're in the middle of a pandemic. We certainly didn't think that we'd be having a virtual graduation either. The class of 2020, you have met all the graduation requirements of the Lake Superior School District and of the state of Minnesota. But in your case, you are graduating with much more. You, graduates, have overcome obstacles that haven't been thrown at any graduating class in the past. You have a story to tell. Because of what the past few months have brought down upon you, you will be coming out stronger than ever. You have developed patience during this time, waiting to see what the next phase of education would be for you. What would this graduation look like? What is this summer going to look like for you? And what's your future ultimately going to look like after all this? This group has endured from being side by side with their friends, classmates, teachers, to going into isolation. The graduates have been flexible in dealing with whatever gets thrown at them. They have dealt with an entirely new model we call distance learning while being at home. During isolation, they did what they needed to do to stay connected with their friends and their extended family. They developed empathy and compassion for those who have been having tough times dealing with these unforeseen times. Our graduates are ready to deal with the unknown. For the past 3 months, the unknown is exactly what they've been dealing with. They're ready for the next unknown to come at them, and they will handle it. Our graduates will be the people in our near future that will approach issues from the perspective of knowing that there are many ways to deal with any situation. The class of 2020 has learned to adapt to whatever gets thrown at them. Now, on a personal note, I'm extremely proud of all of the William Kelley High School graduating class of 2020. I would tell anyone that asks about this group of graduates, be it a school, a university, or a future employer, that any graduate from the class of 2020 has the qualities that will make a difference. And now please join me in celebrating the graduation class of 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Crandall. Please welcome our guest speaker, Ms. Lisa Malcolm.
To the class of 2020, their families, friends, and those watching from afar, I would like to thank you for the immense honor of being invited to speak today. For those of you that don't know me, I am Lisa Malcolm, and I have been the art teacher at William Kelley for 8 years. In the art room, I give a lot of advice. Art advice, relationship advice, future advice, unwanted advice. And since graduation speeches are supposed to be about advice, and I didn't really know where to start, I did what I tell my students to do. I Googled it. I Googled famous graduation speeches and found many wonderful speeches by many people smarter than me. And it just seemed like it really was just about trying to cram as much advice on how to survive this complicated world as much as we could, and hopefully an under 10-minute speech. But in addition to being the art teacher, I also serve as a co-advisor to the senior class and I'm in charge of the yearbook. I share this only to let you know that I spend a lot of time with seniors, both as my students, my advisees, if that's a word, and as a please, will you just send me your senior quote victims. So this year, I thought it was only fitting that I picked a senior quote as well. So here we go. In the words of the great 1980s philosopher Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So I want all of you watching right now to just breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You did it. You made it. And I'm talking to you parents as much as the graduates. This is a big deal. Try to do this throughout your life. It's very easy to have important times in your life go by in a whirlwind if you forget to stop and breathe and notice what is going on around you. This is one of those touchstone moments in your life. The moments where there are things that happened before today, things that will happen after, and it will be a marker of a specific and special time. Notice these moments when they are happening. Also try to notice when it is calm in between them. That's my first piece of advice. Now, it is very likely that the class of 2020 will never be in the same place again. I tell you that not to make you sad, but to help you understand how very different this day is. At many schools, they'll say in graduation speeches how the students have spent 13 years together, but not like you. Graduating from this place is quite different. Remember where you come from. That's piece of advice number 2. You know each other. Whether you like it or not, you have been put together over and over and over in circle time as table mates, lab partners, prom dates, and now graduates. 13 years of constant togetherness creates something more than a graduating class. It has created a kind of family. Surely a dysfunctional one that doesn't always get along, but still a group of people that are forever linked. And now, in addition to having survived 13 years together, you find yourselves going through something new and in a way that none of us before has experienced. I'm not going to say much about the situation that we find ourselves in. This is not ideal. This isn't what any of us wanted. In addition to being a data dump of advice, this speech is also supposed to close out your senior year, a year full of special experiences that unfortunately for you got cut short. I know myself, as well as many of your other teachers, mourn those lost moments. Watching you complete those final days is almost as fulfilling for us as it is for you. We have all missed out on a part of this ceremony. The build-up, which was supposed to be spent together, was spent apart. But this won't be the only time in your life where things won't go your way. Hopefully it's your only go-around with a pandemic. But my third piece of advice is that when facing disappointment or hard situations, to try to figure out what in the situation you can control. In this case, one thing you could is how you choose to view it. It can take some mental and emotional work to turn a downer into an opportunity, to see this as a chance to have a more original graduation, maybe even a touch more personal one to each individual graduate here today. To take a moment to notice the lengths that this community has gone to make today as special for you as humanly possible. As you already know, you have grown up in a very special place, and this community showed up for you when you needed them. Now, enough about that. Today is about graduating. It's about the next stage of your life, whether it's starting a new job, starting the next stage of your education, or simply enjoying the idea that you will never have to walk the halls of this school again. From here on out, it's a choice, and so is every other part of your life. Which, from what I can remember about graduating from high school, that it's both thrilling and terrifying. Having just survived my 20th high school reunion last summer, I can't help but reflect back a little bit on those times. The people who both made high school great, those that made it hard, the teachers that left their mark, and the things that we got away with. It's exciting to me now, knowing how quickly those 20 years went, to think about where each of you will be in 20 years. Many of you with life partners, children, successful careers, and I hope more than anything, a true sense of self and satisfaction in where you ended up. But for right now, here you are, together, if perhaps not in the rows right in front of me, but together all the same. Since it is often difficult to even remember advice, and most of the speech will be forgotten before I even finish, no questions, Travis. I'm going to rely on a tried and true teaching technique, using music to help you remember. Really, it's just me talking over some music, so don't get too excited. But when I graduated high school in 1999, a song came out just in time for graduation, filled with what seems like almost everything you would need to know going forward in life. I tried to update it for our current time, but rereading the lyrics 21 years later, I was shocked at how completely spectacular almost all the advice was. I thought enough time had passed that it would need lots of updating, but I guess advice for the future doesn't really change as much as we might think. And seniors, if you don't remember it all, don't worry. You'll get an MP3 to keep for later. I got you. So, here goes. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2020, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen has been proven by scientists, where the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. And I will dispense this advice
now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they are gone. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you think. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are going to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindside you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember the compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Every so often, leave your phone at home on purpose. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 18 what they wanted to do with their lives, and some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken at your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or be hard on yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you will ever own. Dance, even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not follow beauty influencers. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're the best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but for the precious few worth holding on to, work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Spend time in places that feel foreign, whether that is just a big city, the third world, or living on a farm. These are the things that push us to understand those that are different from us. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you have a wealthy spouse, but you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a kind of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of pulling the past from the garbage, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. We will continue to miss you, love you, and please don't be a stranger. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Malcolm. Connor Sullivan will now speak on behalf of the class. Connor?
Welcome, and thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate you being here, as you've been here throughout every other year, supporting us. Thank you to the students watching, the coaches, community members, and parents. You all done so much to help us succeed and follow our dreams throughout our high school career, and I have no doubt that you'll support us as we move on in life. Thank you to the teachers who've given us the skills we need to pursue a successful career and do the things that we need and wish to do. I know that we'll all achieve great things because we're Mariners, and that means we're strong, loyal, and compassionate. With that combination, we can do anything. Thank you very much.
time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home tonight.
These graduates have met all the requirements set by the state of Minnesota, Lake Superior School District, and William M. Kelley to be presented these diplomas. I'd like to invite Ms. Taboni, Ms. Johnson, and Ms. Malcolm to the stage for the presentation.
Graduation has been a long time coming. Over the years, you'd think that my interests would have changed, but to this day, I still like to work on cars and trucks and dirt bikes, just like when I was younger. Another interest I have is welding. Over the years, I took 2 food classes, and then of course, all the welding classes I could. My future plans are to be a welder and make money that I can use for more dirt bikes and trucks. I would like to thank everyone that helped me throughout the years. To everyone who made school a little bit easier, like Aubrey, Stacy, and Mrs. Vance, and her class. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Dexter James Anderson.
This is what Dana wanted to share about graduating. These last couple years of high school were definitely a time to take chances and to put yourself out there. I've been in bowling since first grade, and I would always hear that it wasn't a sport because it wasn't as physical as football or basketball. Let me tell you guys about all the hills we've run from missing certain pins or how many push-ups we had to do from not standing in the right spot. It's a sport. In just elementary school, I have 15 patches for accomplishments, 5 medals for placing, 2 second place trophies, 2 first place trophies, and best of them all, the trophy for being the Pee Wee champion. I continued to gain experience and awards in bowling throughout high school, including making it to a tournament in the cities in my sophomore year with my JV team. In just my senior year, I made it to all conference, the Pepsi Storm tournament, and the singles tournament. Outside of bowling, I want to thank the teachers who were patient with me and my friends who threw themselves out there to help me with anything I needed. I'm going to miss my medal shop buddies. My 4 years of being in Mr. B's classes were the best experiences ever. Without you guys, my high school career wouldn't have been as special as it was, and I want to take a step aside and especially thank my dad. You are my role model. You were there for me when nobody else was, and without your support, I wouldn't be here walking this stage. Thank you for everything you do. I plan to take one thing at a time and hopefully work my way to Alaska. I wish my amazing class the best of luck and thank you for growing up with me. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Dana Lee Barstow.
This is what Julia wanted to share about graduating. These last few months are far from how any of us imagined, but here we are. We made it, and although it's not ideal, we pushed through. We finally get to walk across the stage. I'm proud of my classmates and all the 2020 seniors. I would like to thank Matthew and Kelley for making sure I had the environment I needed to succeed, for pushing me to try my best and loving me unconditionally. Without you, I wouldn't be walking across this stage. I'd also like to thank my family and friends for being there for me throughout high school. I truly couldn't have done this without all of you. After high school, I plan on doing an apprenticeship to become an electrician. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Julia Marie Chirino.
This is what Martise wanted to share about graduating. I didn't go to William Kelley for very long, but I did enjoy my senior year. I plan to go to school for information technology right after I graduate. This schooling will help me get the education I need to start my job as a computer technician. I plan on doing this in the cities as it is closer to home. I've had a good time at William Kelley, but now I am very excited to start a new chapter of my life. Thank you to all of my teachers who helped me reach this accomplishment. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Martise Hunter Cowles.
This is what Tyler wanted to share about graduating. Hello, I have lettered in track and football. I'm interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. I was in football and track and enjoyed them very much. I took a welding class almost every year, and I was unwillingly forced into a couple health classes. I was also a participant in coffee house performances and the variety show. My future plans are to get on with my life, go to college, and become a millionaire. Thank you to my parents for making sure I didn't fail. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Tyler James Curry.
This is what Sydney wanted to share about graduating. This senior year was unlike any other. 2020 seniors have had it unlucky in many aspects of this year, but though this year was spent differently, I have still made wonderful memories at William Kelley. I've always loved the teachers here and will miss them so much. They always played a big part in making us have some of the best memories we could possibly have. It was an easy year for the most part, spending it cooking, doing art, and having laughs with all the teachers and students for the last time. I want to especially thank Mrs. Bott for pushing me to be my best and always helping me with anything I brought to her. And also Mr. Kaiser for answering any questions I had in class, even though he knew I was just asking them to waste more time. My plans after high school are to go to LSC for 2 years in a transfer program, then transfer to UMD or UWS for 4 more years majoring in psychology. I wish this year could have been spent with my classmates more because I'm going to miss them more than anything. So this last bit is for you guys. I hope you all succeed, and I'm going to miss all the memories we have made together as a class. Deuces, William Kelley. Sydney is the recipient of the Claire Nelson Vocational Scholarship and the Taconite Masonic Lodge Scholarship. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Sydney Ray Dubbin.
This is what Tristan wanted to share about graduating. The seniors of 2020 have had the most unexpected year anyone could have ever imagined. We will never forget it. William Kelley has done everything they can to allow us to have the most normal senior year as possible, and I thank you all for making it happen. As I walk along this stage, I want to recognize my friends, family, and teachers for sticking by my side through my school journey. I will be attending LSC at the beginning of fall to pursue my dream of becoming an interior designer. I have learned so many things from the teachers at William Kelley, and I am proud to say that we are all like family here. So thank you for doing all the hard work, so as students can get the best education possible. I want to especially thank Ms. Bod for giving me lots of hands-on experiences and for motivating me to do things I didn't want to do, and Mr. Kaiser for answering all my random questions, even when they were off subject. I was lucky enough to be a part of a group that Mr. Nicklay assembled with people that showed what it meant to be a Mariner, and it was an eye-opener to see everyone together as one, showing so much pride for this school. This school has always brought the best out of everyone, especially me and Sydney. Thank you all for making William Kelley a great place to learn and also be able to make such amazing memories. For my last words, I hope you all find success. It's been a great journey with you all. Catch you later, class of 2020. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Tristan Ann Evenson.
This is what Mallory wanted to share about graduating. Mallory played volleyball throughout her entire journey. Mallory took part in the PSEO program, and she is graduating high school with 65 college credits, which means she'll be starting college this fall as a junior. Mallory will attend Minnesota State University in Mankato this fall, where she will get a bachelor's degree in marketing. After her bachelor's degree, she plans to attend law school and eventually become an attorney. Mallory would like to thank her parents for always supporting her classmates for giving her lifelong friendships, and the community for supporting the class of 2020. Mallory is the recipient of the Edgar and Dolores Baseman Scholarship and the Frank Rukavina Memorial Scholarship. Mallory was also awarded the 11th District Bar Association Scholarship. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Mallory Gettle.
This is what Tanner wanted to share about graduating. My interests are going up to the pit to ride dirt bikes, playing basketball with friends, and just hanging out with the squad. My future plans are to attend and graduate from Central Lakes College in Staples, Minnesota, to operate heavy machinery. I want to find a good job right after and work on owning my own business one day. I just want to thank all the paras, teachers, and in general, all the staff. I wish the best of luck to all my classmates, and I hope everyone does what they wish after high school. Tanner is the recipient of the Van House Construction Scholarship. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Tanner Jerome Halverson.
This is what Isaac wanted to share about graduating. I played basketball in 10th through 12th grade. I played football in 10th grade, and once I even blocked a punt. I'm interested in video games, hanging out with the boys, and talking about how the Packers are the best and the Vikings are not good. I also started a screen printing business while still in high school. This fall, I'm going to Morehead State University for business. I would like to thank my mom and all of my teachers. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Isaac Xavier Hoffman.
This is what Wyatt wanted to share about graduating. My interests include longboarding, hanging out with friends, and playing video games. My future plans are to enroll in college at LSC and to be an aviation maintenance technician, or possibly a janitor. I'd like to give special thanks to Mrs. Vance and Mrs. Fritz for being great teachers, Mr. Nicklay for keeping me out of trouble, and my mom for always supporting me. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Wyatt Austin Huckle.
This is what Jordan wanted to share about graduating. I just want to thank two very important people, Mrs. Malcolm and Mrs. Fritz. You have both helped influence me throughout my high school years, and I appreciate you the most of all. Thank you for making each day brighter, and I'm going to miss being in your classes. It was pretty nice being able to spend 6 hours of my day making art. I'd also like to thank my mom for always being there for me and supporting me through tough times. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be where I am now. That's all I had to say. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Jordan Jessica Johnson.
This is what Lily wanted to share about graduating. I was awarded the Gary Zinter Excellence in Biology Scholarship as a sophomore and the Karsten Hoganson Integrity Scholarship as a junior. I've been a member of the National Honor Society from 2018 to 2020 and served as president of NHS for the 2019-2020 year. I was awarded Polar League Academic All-State 2019 and 2020 and Polar League Academic All-Conference 2018 and 2019. I was captain for both volleyball and basketball for the 2019-2020 season. I was Polar League All-Conference for basketball for the 2019-2020 season, and highest average female shooter for trap shooting in conference 2018 and 2019. I'm attending the College of St. Scholastica this upcoming fall, where I will study nursing. I plan to become a nurse practitioner. I would like to thank my classmates for all the memories throughout the years. I also want to thank all the teachers and staff that have been so supportive during this time. And lastly, to the community of Silver Bay for being so compassionate and kind to us seniors. Lily is the recipient of the John Philip Sousa National Award, Linda M.L. Memorial Scholarship, Pat and J. William Bryant Health Sciences Scholarship, ELS Teachers Union Scholarship, Mr. and Mrs. William M. Kelley Memorial Scholarship, and the Zinter Civic Scholarship. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Lillian Inez Lewis.
This is what Karina wanted to share about graduating. Karina Marolt has been in many activities over the years and accomplished many goals. She enjoys painting, playing sports, and hanging out with friends. She's been involved in volleyball, basketball, track, robotics, NHS, and managing football. The biggest achievements during Karina's sports career for her was starting varsity in 9th grade for volleyball, going to state in track in 9th grade, making it to finals in the robotics competition this year, and lettering, along with being a captain in all of her sports. She'd like to thank all of her coaches and teammates throughout the years for all of the great memories. Karina plans on attending the University of Minnesota Duluth next fall for organizational management or human resources management. Karina would also like to thank all the people who have helped her achieve all of her goals throughout the years, especially her mom and dad. Karina is the recipient of the Quincy Jones Musicianship Award, the Russell Eggy Memorial Scholarship, the Millie Engebretson Memorial Scholarship, and the Knights of Columbus Citizenship Scholarship. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Karina Jean Murault.
This is what Mason wanted to share about graduating. Mason Ullman has done a lot with his high school career. He has lettered in 4 sports each year from 9th through 12th grade. He has won an Inspirational Athlete Award, been nominated to the All-State football team, has been the captain of 3 sports and as an 11th and 12th grader, and is still sneaking into the gym to get in a workout. His interests are sports and hanging with the boys. His future plans include playing football at Bemidji State and studying physical therapy. He would like to thank his teachers, his friends, and his family. Mason would like the world to know that he wouldn't trade his friends or family for anything. Mason is the recipient of the Dr. Joseph Bloom Memorial Scholarship, the William M. Kelley Class of 1963 Scholarship, the E.C. Lampman Math Scholarship, and the Two Harbors Area Chamber of Commerce Scholarship. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Mason Frederick Ullman.
This is what Timmy wanted to share about graduating. Following this summer, I will be attending Hibbing Community College to study business management and play baseball. After these 2 years are up with baseball and school, I plan to transfer to finish my degree and continue playing baseball. I would like to thank my family, friends, coaches, teachers, bosses, and most of all, my brother, for helping shape me into the person I am today, both in athletics and everyday life. Timmy is the recipient of the Blue Line Club Scholarship and the Cliffs North Shore Mining Scholarship. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Timothy Douglas Perfetto.
This is what Mariah wanted to share about graduating. After graduation, I really haven't made up my mind what I'm going to do yet, other than take care of my kiddo. 2 of my favorite classes were art with Miss Malcolm and English with Miss Fritz. I want to give a big thank you to Ms. Duke and Mr. Nicklay for helping me out a lot this year and for helping me to get this far. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Mariah Amal Ramley.
This is what Jade wanted to share about graduating. What graduation means to me is that I've overcome a huge challenge in my life. I didn't think I would graduate, but here I am and it almost doesn't feel real. That's funny to say because usually when someone says something doesn't feel real, it is a bad thing. But this is the opposite. It's an achievement I'm glad I can say I have accomplished. I want to thank the people that have helped me make this possible. I want to thank all of my teachers. Yes, every one of my teachers, because in some shape or form, they've got me to where I am walking across the stage. Next, I want to thank my parents, David and Jennifer. My parents have always been on my case about my homework and graduation. I wouldn't have made it without their encouragement. I also want to give a little thanks to my friends, boyfriend, and my other family members. They all have supported me tremendously, and I really appreciate it. Next, I'm going to talk a bit about an achievement I've made in one of my favorite classes in school. In school, I have attended lots of art classes and learned how to make pottery. I found a talent through Mrs. Malcolm that I didn't know I had, and I want to give her some recognition for that. My future plans after high school are to eventually take over my family business in my hometown of Ely. I'm really excited to work with plants and the outdoors for my future. I want to learn and grow along with the business and soon take it into my own hands, carrying out what my family has made. So with that, I thank you everyone again for the support and encouragement I have received. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Jade Marie Starkman.
This is what Connor wanted to share about graduating. My senior year has come to an end. This marks the end of an amazing 13-year adventure. I've learned so much during these years, and I've made so many wonderful friends. This signifies the end of one part of my life and the beginning of another. I'm lucky to have been able to participate in hockey, trap shooting, track, NHS, and robotics. I've learned a lot from each, and the lessons I've learned from each will assist me throughout the rest of my life. I plan to play junior hockey next year in Gillette, Wyoming, and after that, I will try to make a college hockey team and study computer engineering. After my education, I hope to start my own business in the field of robotics because I love creating electronic projects. This is how I will spend my time, as well as hunting and fishing. I'm very thankful to have been helped along on my journey thus far. It would not have been possible if it was not for my supportive parents. And I wouldn't be who I am today if it was not for my wonderful teachers, coaches, acquaintances, and friends. Thank you. I could not have asked for a better 13 years. I've concluded yet another chapter of my life. Now, it's time to turn the page and continue writing my story. Connor is the recipient of the Dr. and Mrs. E.W. Davis Sciences Scholarship, the Zinter Math and Physics Scholarships, and the St. Cloud State Presidential Scholarship. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Connor John Sullivan.
This is what Riley wanted to share about graduating. During my time at William Kelley, I was a 3-sport athlete participating in football, basketball, and baseball. While in football, I was team captain my senior year. I also received an all-district award in 2019. While in basketball, I was team captain my junior and senior years, all conference in 2019 and 2020. During my senior year, I became a member of the Mariner 1,000 Point Club. While in baseball, I was team captain my junior and senior years and all conference 2018 and 2019, all section 2019, and MVP in 2018. After graduation, I plan to attend Lake Superior College for 1 year to complete generals, then transfer to Minnesota State Mankato to complete my sports management degree. I would like to thank my parents for being my biggest supporters and my grandparents for always being there for every game and accomplishment I have ever had. I would also like to thank my coaches, especially Coach Wallen, for his support, not only in sports, but also as a friend. Lastly, I would like to thank the teachers and classmates for making my time at William Kelley unforgettable. Riley is the recipient of the Cliffs North Shore Mining Scholarship, ELS Teachers Union Scholarship, Claire Nelson Vocational Scholarship, and the Minnesota Masonic Charity Scholarship. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Riley Thomas Taboni.
This is what Travis wanted to share about graduating. In my time as a high schooler, I've done quite a bit, and most of my time has been spent trying my best to keep my grades up, doing activities with the National Honor Society, and going to student council meetings, and even playing some sports throughout my sophomore and junior years. I've also learned a lot and gained skills I never thought I would. I never imagined I'd get better at art, but I guess that's what happens when you take 4 art classes in a year. I plan on continuing my education by going to the University of Wisconsin Stout, where I've been accepted into Honors College and will major in game design and development, as I hope to one day have a career in the video game industry. My interests and goals have changed throughout high school, and I'm sure they will continue to. However, when I think back on high school, or to whatever happens in the future, I know I won't be remembering my grades, awards, classes, or anything like that. Instead, I'll be remembering all the people I met and the friends that I made. As for who I want to thank, I have to thank my parents for always caring about me and pushing me to do the best I can. My friends for always being there for me, and also Mrs. Malcolm for always answering my questions, no matter how many I had. I'll always be excited for what the future holds, but I'll never forget the memories I've already made. Travis is the recipient of the Cliffs North Shore Mining Scholarship, Pennies from Heaven Scholarship, and the Ann Wood Community Education Fine Arts Scholarship. He's also the recipient of the Senior Art Award. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Travis Jackson Tikkanen.
This is what Kelley wanted to share about graduating. I don't think this school year ended how anyone expected it to. The class of 2020 really got pushed to limits they didn't expect. Although the school year didn't go as expected, I am very grateful that we get to finish out strong with everything that has happened. I've been in sports since 8th grade and have seen people come and go, but finally being a senior has really shown how hard it is to let go and leave everyone behind. I want to give a special shout out to all the seniors and fellow teammates that have been affected by COVID-19. I wish you the best. I'm happy to continue my life in sports in college. I've spent a lot of time throughout the years cooking with Mrs. Bott and getting important life lessons from Mrs. Malcolm. I will be continuing my education at Central Lakes College in the Dental Assisting Program. I would like to thank my teachers, family, coaches, and friends who have pushed me to be the best I could possibly be while teaching me to never give up and fight for what I believe in. I have really enjoyed my time here at William Kelley. Thank you for all the great friends and memories. I'll miss you all. To my fellow classmates of 2020, I wish you the best and see you later. Now graduating for the class of 2020, Kelley Ann Valesky.
This is what Ethan wanted to share about graduating. This school year was an experience for me, to say the least. The last 6 or so years were spent in close-knit, project-based learning school that topped out with roughly 110 kids. I wanted to transition for my senior year in order to play hockey. I know this school isn't typical, but I think I can fairly say I got a decent amount of the high school experience. I'd like to thank my mom and my grandma for making this possible. I'd also like to thank Miss Vance, Mrs. Bott, Mrs. Malcolm, Mr. Kaiser, Miss Fritz, Mrs. Loden, Mr. Nicklay, and Mr. B. Each of you has done your part to help me through this strange high school experience. And one last big shout out and thank you to my former homeroom teacher, Donna. You showed me what it truly means to be humble and kind. I aspire to be more like you as I grow up and hopefully have the same influence on people that you have had on me. Now, graduating for the class of 2020, Ethan Robert Werman.
I would like to invite Mason Ullman and Travis Tickinen to give the farewell for the class of 2020. Mason and Travis.
Well, it didn't end the way we thought it would. This ride has been a very long and bumpy one over the past 3 months. There's no senior trip, no prom, and there's no normal graduation. High school, however, is more than just those. Senior year might not have gone as planned, but when we look back on high school, we're going to be thinking about way more than just senior year. We're going to be looking back and remembering all the amazing memories, the friends we've made, and the people who helped us get where we are today.
Along the way, we've seen each of our fellow classmates grow up, from the playgrounds in kindergarten, the study halls in middle school, and watching each other leave school thanks to our senior privileges. Now we're here, and although it's not what we've expected, it doesn't make this accomplishment any less special. Every single one of us has worked to be here, and we all have our own memories we've made throughout high school. This time of our lives has been unique, and has set the stage for who we will become. That being said, the future could hold anything, and it is up to us to decide where we take ourselves and how we accomplish our goals.
We all have different paths to walk. Although none of those paths will be the same, it's important that we know that we'll keep the bonds we've made throughout our time during high school.
COVID-19 may have come as a surprise, ending the second semester of the school year, but we can all take it as a lesson to make the most of our time.
You have to enjoy the little things.